In 2007, two of guitar's greatest companies, Fender and Boss, collaborated to create the Legends series, first releasing the FBM-1 59 Bassman pedal, then the FDR-1 65 Deluxe Reverb pedal, and in 2009, they put out the 63 Fender Reverb, which is the FRV-1. All three of these pedals utilize a technology that Boss labels as COSM, C-O-S-M, and that stands for Composite Object Sound Modeling. We see this COSM technology go way back with Boss. I have an old GS10 guitar effects system, crazy piece of tech, and you see it there, COSM. You also see it on there was like a multi-processor, the GT10, it was like a floorboard. And this definition is simply Boss's DSP, digital signal processing tech, that is ever evolving as technology evolves. So as there's new processors, as there's new ideas with coding, as there's new abilities in computing technology with audio, they just evolve it. So COSM is not a thing, it is a living organism. The first pedal we want to look over and demonstrate is the FBM-1, and I do have the box.
He has the box.
It's a nice box. It has it's tweed. Can you see the tweed? You see this? It's not real tweed, but they printed it. It's pretty good DPI ratio for the, there's a box thing that I care about with the DPI. You ever think about the DPI?
Always.
So taking a look at the pedal, initially it's obviously a Boss pedal. And how do you collaborate with Fender, license their name and do something? You want it to look different, and it has a textured paint that's really cool. You have kind of this chrome faceplate that obviously mimics a Fender amp. Even on the back of many even newer model Fenders, you see that badge. So it looks really cool. You have concentric pots here, and this pedal is extremely simple. You have a bright in and a normal in. So I'm gonna play through the normal. You have one output. And the idea of this is it's an amp in a box. It's a very early amp in a box. If we look at people who have mastered that, I think of Brian Wampler, and then myself, even with the Charlie Brown or the Angry Charlie. This is really before any of that became super popular. You have simple controls of level and gain. So what they're intending is, hey, use this pedal to get a cranked Fender Bassman sound. So turn the gain up to simulate, master volume in correlation with the level, which is a volume knob. You have treble and bass, middle, and presence, and it's super versatile. You can set it up as an always on more better. You can do light overdrive. You can really crunch it, get really heavy. So I'm gonna do this thing where I have it clean. You're just gonna hear my amp. I'm using the Kemper, and the profile is the Josh MiG-50, and it's setting 1. So it's the clean MiG-50 setting in that pack. You'll hear me turn this on, and I'll be at kind of a middle gain, and then I'm gonna go into a bigger, heavier part, and I'm gonna crank that drive, which is actually not this knob, it's that knob, but you get the point. So this is a little bit of an OG amp in a box pedal, sort of, at least for a company this big. It's a real first of its kind. That jam was kind of like if the Wallflowers and the Wallflowers did a song. Like if there were two parallel universe Wallflowers and they combined. I had the Boss tremolo on, the TR2, you heard it. That's what was setting up there. Forgot to tell you. I used a capo, which isn't cool to some of you, but I don't care. I just wanted that capo tone. I will say this pedal is incredibly versatile, and the high gain sound that I used at the end is fantastic. And it actually has this response kind of feedback thing through the guitar that was nice. So it's a really killer drive pedal that I think is seriously overlooked because it can be confusing. Like, what is a 59 Bassman? Why would I want this sound, etc., etc.? You need to just think of a 59 Bassman as kind of the foundation of distorted music, because that's what Jim Marshall used to create Marshall amps and distortion in an amp. And so if you buy this is a fantastic distortion pedal when you crank it up. It's interesting to note there are two quotes where Boss had on their website that kind of explains this strange collaboration, in the sense that Fender really didn't do anything. Boss designed the pedals and simply licensed the name. Boss's website, we found on the Wayback Machine, says that Fender Corporation licensed the use of Fender Bassman to Boss FBM-1. No other pedals carry this official license. And then we have another quote from the Boss Guitar Effects Cookbook from 2007. Fender has granted permission to use the Bassman name and logo to only one company in the world. And naturally, that company is Boss. Anyway, it's exciting. Next pedal.
It's the Boss Guitars Effect Guidebook.
Yes.
Not cookbook.
Whatever.
Although, I'd read it.
Next to the Bassman, I would say that Fender's most famous amp, or second most famous amp, at least in my opinion, is the Deluxe Reverb. It's kind of like the Tube Screamer of amps, the SM57 of mics. What am I trying to say? The Acrolite of snares.
You're doing great.
It's like, it's the staple, you know? It's like when you're hungry, there's always a can of Spam in the pantry. So this is really cool because it will do drive sounds, and it also does the effects that are in the Deluxe Reverb. And so in that sense, it's like a 3-in-1 pedal. So you have this preamp kind of amp in a box thing that this is, but you have over here controls for reverb and vibrato. And yes, thanks to Doc Kaufman and Leo Fender, vibrato should be called tremolo, but they called tremolo vibrato and vibrato tremolo, and the world has been in a death spiral since. You have level, gain. I'm going to keep it really clean because in the next jam I'm going to use this as a distortion pedal. Treble and bass, and if you hold this down about that long, this light will flash and you can tap tempo in the tremolo. And I don't have a box for it, I'm fine, but I do have this French cut sheet for both of the pedals that were released in 07. And I don't read French, but I'm pretty sure it just says like sick amps, bro. Sick amp pedal. And here's the American versions. I don't know, it's just pieces of paper, but they mean something to me. That's not the right one. We should just go straight to the jam. Oh, I'm gonna use an old SD1, Black Label Japan, just because it's older. It doesn't sound different, it's just cool. That jam was like if Not a Surf joined the Wallflowers, and that band, The Refreshments, who wrote the King of the Hill theme song, kind of joined together. I mean, you see it? You guys see that?
I get it.
You get it? Note, the song before this, I used the Benson actual tube spring reverb unit that I normally use on the show. That was just this. So it's a really cool spring. And then I turned on the vibrato, which is technically tremolo at the end. I think you heard that. Let's move on. The next and last of this trinity of Boss Fender beauty. That's deep. That felt really good. The last pedal of this series came out 2 years later in 2009, and it is the FRV-1 63 Fender Reverb. And on the screen right now, you see this Fender Reverb unit. It's brown. This is what this is replicating. So Leo Fender licensed the reverb technology from Hammond organs and put it in these singular little boxes that were standalone effects units. And this is replicating that. This is a few years later in 65, but it's a similar sound, but this is a standalone reverb effect unit. And of the three, this one is pricey. It has maintained a really great resale value. It sounds great. It has the drip, and yeah, compared to these, the price can at times be almost double. It just depends on the condition and such. And then I'm going to pull out this 65 Deluxe again, and I'm going to use it as an overdrive distortion. And I do want to say, I kind of just went all the way on the extremes of both of these pedals from a drive standpoint, because I'm not really interested in, like, they do fantastic normal drive sounds, but I kind of wanted to max them out to show that they do the sag kind of dying amp thing really well. This has a whole Neil Young vibe. I'm pushing it all the way up on the gain almost, and it's just that saturated rectifier kind of sagging distortion at the end. And I'm gonna go and drop D and just like play my troubles away, I guess. And again, I do want to say this copy also states no other pedals carry this official license. I mean, they're very proud of this. They're proud of this. Yeah, it's a collaboration of the ages. By 2015, all three of these pedals were discontinued and Fender canceled their licensing to Boss. The gear page speculates that that's because of low sales, so I investigated that and emailed my friend over at Boss in London, and he kind of agreed that the sales weren't great on these, so the license ended, and they are no more. At this point, these pedals are as old as my company. I basically started around the time these 07s dropped, and they've been discontinued for quite a while. They're not vintage, but they are. And they're not rare, but they are. I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're a lost pedal line, and that kind of stuff kind of thrives on the show. I have a lot of fun showing it off. So jump on Reverb, see if you can find one. Might find one in a pawn shop, your brother's house, your grandma's attic, your neighbor. That weird neighbor, the guy that goes to the mailbox in his underwear. He's probably got 3 or 4 of these in the trunk of his Civic. He drives a Civic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally cool. Let's go to Record Time. Today's Record Time is brought to you by the year 2000 and Sunny Day Real Estate, The Rising Tide. It has one of the greatest songs ever recorded, in my opinion. I'm actually not joking. It's in my top 100. It is track 1, Killed by an Angel. Every song on this is incredible. I am assuming that many of you have never heard of this band, but you should check this record out first. If you like this, I would send you on a journey away from the band and to the lead singer's solo records, Jeremy Enig. And then from there, you come back to the band. And then you find in the band and in Jeremy everything you ever wanted musically. It's a good deal, and it's technically free. Sort of, like if you're streaming and already paying for it. Thanks so much for watching this episode. If you did enjoy it, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and there is a bell icon you can click to be notified of every future episode. In the comments, it would be awesome to hear which of these 3 pedals is your favorite. Have you ever owned one of these? Did you keep it? Did you sell it? Do you have regrets? Are you happy? I just want to know everything about you, so let me know. And also with BandLab, there's a link in the description. You can jam along with us. You can download basically the drums, the bass, and the guitar, and you can create your own music with the music we've made today. I have nothing else to offer you. I'm actually going to take a nap for like 4 days. Bye. 4-day nap. Band name. 5-day nap. Napping band name. What if the band's name was band name? It's up to you.